Okay, so this is your overview video for the lecture exam 3 unit. There's 3 chapters, chapter 16, 23, and 24, and I just kind of want to give you some information about this chapter. So we're going to start with chapter 16, which is on the endocrine system. And the endocrine system is coordinating our long-term physiological processes through the release of hormones. So unlike the nervous system, which we talked about in AUP1, the nervous system provides really rapid, short duration communication because there was usually an enzyme like acetylcholine esterase that was there ready to degrade the neurotransmitter. Our endocrine system regulates a lot slower. It has going to be responsible for sustained responses that are going to influence growth, metabolism, reproduction, stress responses, and our fluid and our electrolyte balance. So in this chapter, we're going to be looking at the major endocrine glands, the hormones that they secrete, and the mechanisms that underlie hormone synthesis, transport, which receptors they bind, and their location of the receptor, and how we control it via what we call feedback. So understanding the endocrine signaling system is really, really important because it's really how our body is going to adjust to its internal environment over time. So this chapter is a lot of information. You do need to know all the information that I have in my PowerPoints for sections 16.1 to 16.5. So that's that playlist here. Past 16.5 is 16.6 through 16.11. And the majority of hormones don't just have a single simple function. A lot of hormones have multiple functions depending on where they're acting. So for 16.6 through 16.11, there's a video just on the need to know information, what I expect you to know as far as glands, hormones, functions, and disease or disorder if there's hyper or hyposecretion. I think that video is me writing, so the PDF of what I wrote is directly below it, so please don't waste your time rewriting it. Okay, and then for chapter 23, this is going to be the digestive system. So the digestive system is really going to be preparing nutrients for absorption that will eventually be used by cells. And the digestive system is functionally divided into your alimentary canal and associated accessory organs. And then collectively, these structures are going to perform ingestion, mechanical and chemical digestion, absorption, and then ultimately elimination. So we're going to trace food from the mouth all the way through the stomachs and intestines. But we're really going to be focusing on are the roles of the enzymes, secretions from tissues, talk about motility, and surface area, how they all play a role in nutrient processing. Finally, we're going to talk about chapter 24. So we're going to kind of integrate everything that we talked about previously by looking at nutrition, metabolism, and energy balance. And we're really going to look at how the body utilizes those absorbed nutrients that we produced or talked about in chapter 23, the digestive system, in order to produce ATP, how we also utilize that to synthesize new molecules, and how we maintain thermal and metabolic homeostasis. So our key metabolic pathways, including glycolysis, the citric acid cycle or Krebs cycle, and oxidative phosphorylation, these are our key metabolic pathways, and they're going to illustrate how nutrients are transformed into a usable energy source by our body. And we'll also consider how nutrient requirements vary, how our body stores energy, and how hormones regulate our metabolic rate, our appetite, and assist with thermoregulation. So you have your typical Pearson assignments for each chapter. As for supplemental material, I have hormone cards. So again, these are like cards that you can use. You don't have to. But basically, if you print these out and you cut them out, I've provided to you all of the glands that you're responsible for, or endocrine tissues, because like the placenta is not a gland, but it's considered an endocrine tissue because it releases hormones. So either one of those. So those are in the dark blue. Then all the hormones you're responsible for are here in green. And then the hormone functions are listed for you here in orange. Let's see if I can get my computer to scroll. And then this is what causes its release. And they're not in order. And then if we have hyper or hyposecretion, what particular disorder could we have? Okay, so how should you use these? Well, if you opt to use these and you print them out, how you do it, and if you were in my face-to-face class, we would do this in class, kind of like as a game, is you would lay out all of your endocrine tissues or glands, okay? Then pick up your stack of hormones and try to match your hormones to each gland, okay? Once you match all your hormones to which gland they go to, then take your hormone functions and then lay them next to the hormones. So this is kind of like a good practice after you've been studying, or you could use it as kind of a way to study. That's totally up to you. Other things that I have, let me see. So small intestine overview video and the PDF for what I write. If you're struggling with understanding the role of the small intestine in digestion, then you might want to watch that video. And a lot of people who don't have a strong science background or maybe haven't taken a college biology course, cellular respiration is potentially new to you. So if it is, I encourage you to watch the cellular respiration overview video. There's a guide, as always, exam 3 discussion board, and your lecture exam 3 is due on March 15th by 11:59 p.m.